Okay, so now we just got past Frank Zappa and the Zombies, and here's another LP here, and it's called Nickel Creek, and that's a pretty good LP too. If you get a chance, that's a good one. And now we're getting into some, I guess, it's motion picture soundtrack stuff. 2001: A Space Odyssey on that original MGM label, first press. Yeah, you know you want to hear that on a good stereo. That's always good to hear. And then they put out this, John Williams put out this Boston Pops record with the Return of the Jedi and Star Trek and Twilight Zone, that kind of stuff. That's always a good sounding record. It's good to have something like that. And then a record that I really like. It's Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant. If you don't know that song, you can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant, and the whole tale that he sings, the whole deal he does. Go on YouTube, listen to that. That's pretty funny. That's a good record. And then there's a band, not a band, I guess it's a fellow that I really like. It's called Andreas Wollenweider, and he plays the harp, but it's kind of like new age music, but he does a lot of different stuff, and it sounds really good on it, really good. So have a listen to some of that stuff. And now before the film ran out, I want to make sure that I get these in. The first ones I'm going to show you are my favorite jazz type records. And number one, it says not in order of best to worst, but you know, the first one here, Billy Cobham Spectrum. Fantastic record. I went and got it on the Japanese first edition like this. The sound is great. Even if you get a domestic, you know, label, first edition, and listen to that. Great guitar work on here, great drumming, great keyboards. You know, you can't go wrong with this stuff. Can't go wrong with it. And then another Billy Cobham, Total Eclipse. You know, Billy Cobham's a drummer, and of course he's got John Abercrombie on guitar and Mike Recker and a bunch of other good musicians on here, horns and stuff. Fantastic. And then a record you might not know about because it's a guy called Mo Kaufman. He's a Canadian, and he's got this record. Of course, you can see it's the original one. It's still got some ring wear on it. And this thing is well played. I mean, I played this record. It's a double record, and not every single song on it is great, but it's got some great, it's a big orchestra, okay? It's Mo Kaufman and the orchestra, lots of horns, lots of, you know, keyboards, lots of horns. You know, the big horn sections are just going, and fantastic record right there. Really love it. And now we get into a fellow that I really like, Diodato, Prelude. Again, John Tropia's on this. Guitar work is phenomenal. Diodato plays the keyboards. Great record. And another one, Diodato Whirlwinds. Sorry, I can't seem to speak. Diodato Whirlwinds. Great, phenomenal record. And I went searching and I got that on the first edition as well. You listen to those, you really like them. And then we got another Billy Cobham's Crossroads. And then Joe Farrell, Moon Germs, another one that I really like. Stanley Clarke, Journey to Love. Very good record. And then another one of those, like number one, number two, Stanley Clarke, his first solo LP. Fantastic record on here. Fantastic stuff. Now, this one, we got Stanley Clarke on guitar, we got Jan Hammer on keyboards, Tony Williams on drums, Bill Connor on the guitar, and another on acoustic. Wow, what a lineup. Great stuff. Again, if you haven't heard this record, stop the presses, get on there right now and listen to it. And this is another one of those Andreas Wollenweider. This, I think, is his best one. This is, I mean, I've listened to it. And it's not the greatest, maybe in the world kind of music, but it just sounds so beautiful. It just sounds so nice. You put it on the stereo, you listen to it, and it's just wow. It just sounds so great. And then another guy that I really like, Bob James. Bob James 1 right here. Bob James 1, Bob James 2. Those two, wow. A lot of horns in there. Great. Great, great orchestra stuff. And then the old master. This is Jazz at the Pawn Shop. This is a live record that was recorded in Sweden. And this is the record basically known as the best jazz record ever made, kind of thing. Best recording on Porpheus, that Porpheus label. If you see this, they reissued it again. You like jazz, you don't know about this record, pick it up. Sound is out of this world on this record. And now that they started doing, and they've got a lot of records done like this. They've reissued a lot of these Blue Notes and stuff. This is a Donald Byrd one. And what they've done, they've issued it on a double 45 RPM. And you know, those old great recordings on double 45, how can that be bad? Yeah, it's not. It's good. And then I've got Hank Moberly on that. And now I'm going to try to just, run through this stuff a little quicker. Point them out. Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. Great. It's classic. Now, we got another one of these. Patricia Barber. This is Nightclub on the Premonition label. If you're not familiar with Patricia Barber, some of her earlier stuff like this, great sound on it. It's like you're there. The way that this stuff is recorded, and she's really good. She's great musicianship on this stuff. A great record. If you like jazz, you don't know this, they've reissued it. Get it. Here's one. This is one I really like. Gabor Szabo, Miserab. And CTI. Bob James is on there, Jack DeJohnette, Billy Cobb, and Ron Carter. I mean, how can you go wrong? And this guy plays guitar. And wow, he's a little different, but he's a little different in a very good way. That is a really good record right there. Really love it. And here's another one. Chick Corea, one of his earlier ones. And it's got Stanley Clarke on here. And who else on it? Flora Purim's on here. And she sings, which not a lot of Chick Corea records have vocals in it, but she sings this, and a great song. 500 Miles High. I mean, I just put it on last week, listened to it 5 times in a row. I just love it. Great record. And then I got this, Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. It's got some cool stuff on this soundtrack. It's just reissued on this, and sounds really good. A lot better than the original one. So that was good. And then another record I just got. This is another Japanese press, Southern Comfort by the Crusaders. That's good. Good jazz. Kind of funky jazz. Really good though. Good sound up quality on it. You gotta have some Frank Sinatra, Strangers in the Night. You gotta have a little of that. And we got some Charlie Mingus, little Jan Hammer stuff. Al Grant Green on a Blue Note. Herbie Hancock Sextant. Some big band machine, Buddy Rich. That's some good stuff there. Just run through it kind of quick. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Les McCann, Layers. These are all great records. Okay. Al Di Meola, Electric Rendezvous. And here's some other good stuff. Chick Corea, Return to Forever, No Mystery. That's a good one. Kaleidoscope, When Scopes Collide. And they do a really good rendition of Ghost Riders in the Sky on this one. That's why I got that. Freddie Hubbard, Straight Life. It's on the CTI again. That's good. And then I got Freddie Hubbard, Red Clay. That's good. And then Little Gatto Barberi. I haven't listened to that for years. Tropea. He's with Diodato, so he put this solo record out, this Tropea. That's pretty good. Tom Scott and the LA Express. Man, that's a really good. Tom Scott's got a lot of records out, but this is his early stuff. This is good. Listen to that. You'll really enjoy that. And Glenn Miller Orchestra. Got all the good Glenn Miller tunes on it. PFM Cook. And then I really like Donald Byrd, so I've got a lot of Donald Byrd stuff in here. You know, he's a horn player. Street corner talking, and a new perspective. You know, them good old great jazz covers. You know, you don't get any better than that for a jazz cover. And Donald Byrd, Blackbird. Donald Byrd. This is a reissue, and pick that up. That's really good. Some of his older stuff. And then one I really like, Donald Byrd, is Ethiopian Nights, and it's getting more of a little bit, starting to get into a little bit of that fusion. So you know, I like that. And then we've got an original Donald Byrd, Bird Flight. They've reissued that though, but this is the original Blue Note. Had that for years. And then we've got some Freddie Hubbard, less, you know, Lee Morgan Sidewinder, Anthony Williams Spring, Hank Moberly, little Blue Mitchell, Wayne Shorter, and some Pentangle. It's a Japanese press. Some Tony Williams, Grant Green, Ron Carter, Stanley Turrentine. There's another one, Don't Mess with Mr. T. Stanley Turrentine does it. That's Michael, this is a pretty good jazz record here. And Beaujolais Band, that's an acid jazz label. More of that Bob James stuff. And then, you know, Chick Corea, good. And then this is a really good record. I really like this one. It's Natalie Cole, Unforgettable. And I listened to this quite a bit. You know, that's a good one. Me and the wife, you know, kind of thing. You put that on in the car. We really enjoy that. And some Joe Henderson. What else we got? Some more Stanley Turrentine. Some Milt Jackson. Plays the vibes. That's really good. I like those. And then we got a best of thing here. Let's try to get through with this here. Another Diodato record. It's in concert. That's really good too. Stanley Jordan. You ever seen that guy play the guitar? Go on YouTube and look at Stanley Jordan, how he plays the guitar. He played 2 guitars at once. Yeah. Stanley Jordan. Magic Touch. That's what he's got. He's got the magic touch. Crusaders again. More Crusaders. Johnny Hammond. Ian Carr's Nucleus. This is a good record right here. So look up that Ian Carr's Nucleus. And I think they even had they were on a swirl at one time, Ian Carr's Nucleus. That's a Winnipeg group from Pele. Then it's Jerry Goodman and Jan Hammer, Like Children. That's a good record. Little Jimmy Weatherspoon, A Spoonful of Soul. Yeah, that's good stuff there. You'll break your heart listening to all that. And then the Essential Larry Correll. He's good, great guitar player. Tom Scott, and again the LA Express. That's another good record. This is a Mannheim Steamroller, Mason Williams and Classical Gas. And this is probably the only Mannheim Steamroller record that's worth getting. This is a good one here. It's got a lot of good songs on it, really well recorded. Chick Corea again. Bill Evans, and with Toots Thälmann. Yeah, I really love that Toots Thälmann. He's got a great harmonica player. Another Crusaders record. Now this is a Japanese one. Boy, does this one ever sound good. That sounds like a lot. Excuse me. It sounds like a live recording. Oh, that's really done well. And then a little El Di Meola, Elegant Gypsy. Everybody likes that one. And a little bit of that flute and bamboo stuff. And then we're on to the Anders Wollenweider White Winds. And I think that's a Holland press. And that's more of that Anders Wollenweider. And then we got, of course, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire, another great record. And a little Nat King Cole. And here's one. This is a direct-to-disc record, 16 track. It's called Audify Recordings. I've seen this on eBay, and they do some Dwayne Eddy stuff on here, and the Pipeline by the Chantays, Johnny and the Hurricanes, that kind of stuff. Safaris, and wow, does it ever sound great? It just sounds like directed this record. It sounds like you're there almost. Really good sounding record. And then I've got Bob James too. I talked about that. Bob James Obsession. That's another really good one. And you got to have a little Miles Davis. Now Miles Davis is a lot of that stuff's a little bit out there for me, but everybody loves Kind of Blue. That's a good record. And then the last one in the list here is this Curtis Mayfield Superfly. He's got some couple really good songs on here, and again, it's on that Rhino vinyl. And I used to have the first edition white label promo, whatever, of this record. Had it forever, and I decided to get this Rhino edition. Man, does it ever sound great! And so that's going to conclude the tour through the record collection. I think what I might do, I might make one more video, and because I saw a guy on here on there's probably more than one video like that, but he's got his top 20 records on there. And you'll notice we went through this whole thing, you didn't see Billy Joel at all. Well, Billy Joel was his top record of all time. It's not even in my record collection. So I've got a little bit of different taste in music. Billy Joel is not the number one record of all time for me. So I was thinking of going through here, pulling out, just finding out what I got. If I come up with the top 20 or top 30, whatever it's going to be, I'll make another video of that. And then that'll be a lot easier for y'all to go through and say, okay, we got to start listening to this and have a listen to it and look at it. And I want to thank y'all if you went through the whole series. I hope you learned a little bit. Tried to share as much as I could that I remembered, the old brain of mine trying to remember what's going on. And that'll be it for this part.